A lot of people have been sending me messages and emails about a certain topic, and I wanted to go on further with it and make an episode. Actually, we're gonna divide this into three parts. This is digital marketing for beginners. And this is something I learned through studying myself through online and through different books as well. I wanted to share more information about how digital marketing works and the 7 digital marketing strategies that a lot of people use. Now, not all of them you should actually master, but at least one or two of them you should master. But having the know-how of all these 7 different types of strategies would be very, very helpful for your business. So in this episode of Retail Fashion Business, we'll be discussing more about digital marketing for beginners. If you are a business owner, then you know that the vast majority of people have their business running on some type of online type of marketplace, or everything is based now online. Now, even if you are a what we call a brick and mortar type of store, majority or most consumers make their buying decisions first by exploring something to that effect on the online space. They do that first by example of search engines, websites, and reading, for example, customer reviews. I myself read customer reviews. For example, if I'm buying a phone, I look for not just for the reviewers online, because most of them are actually paid to do positive reviews, but I want to see actual users of the products. I don't want to be the first to buy something and then I find out that it's a lemon. I'd rather have real life reviews of people, not just from search engines, not just from websites, but the customer reviews. And we'll get more into that later on. More than ever, more people are also making their purchases online nowadays for, of course, home delivery and out of convenience. Not only is it convenient, but in today's environment, this is already 2022. We're past already the pandemic, but it's still a mandatory now. How can you capture your share of what we call the billion-dollar e-commerce industry that a lot of people have been raving and talking about? It is through digital marketing. And one of the reasons why I started my own ad agency, Aguirre Advertising, back in early 2021 during the pandemic was because of this. I accidentally didn't know I was doing digital marketing, not just for my own brand, Soul Slam back then, but also doing it for other companies as well. And the more I applied it, the more actually I was learning about it. And to this day, I am still learning about digital marketing. And that's why I keep on researching about new styles, new strategies, and new terminologies and such. So this is as updated as I can get for you in terms of digital marketing. But in definition, digital marketing refers to marketing on the internet through digital channels. And it's another term for what we call internet marketing. It's an old term for marketing, internet marketing. Not only is that it is less expensive than traditional marketing, like, putting an ad on TV, on billboards, and on magazines, on paper. It's a lot easier to reach a large number of market and the right target market and the existing market that you want to target with less money. You want to go where the attention is. And that's how digital marketing works. Reports online say that about 40 to 50% of organizations don't have a clearly defined digital marketing strategy that they have in place. It's all over the place. Whether you're thinking about transitioning from your traditional marketing to digital marketing, or you're among like the 50% out there who are ready to add digital marketing into their mix of advertising in your promotional mix, this episode will have you covered in that. And that's why I'm going to do this in 3 episodes, just so we're clearly divided into the aspects of digital marketing. And some of the topics here, I have to add some explanation to it, so that's why it's going to be a little lengthy. But anyway, there are many digital marketing strategies out there. And just to give you an overview what they are, let's go on with the 7. One, of course, is search engine optimization, or what we call SEO in common terminologies. Number 2 is display advertising. Number 3, social media marketing and advertising. Number 4, content marketing. Number 5, mobile marketing. Number 6, search engine marketing. And number 7 is email marketing. Now, I know that's a lot. So that's why we'll go on with each one of them, and we'll talk more about the first four in this first part, and then the latter on the second part, and then more strategies on the third part. Okay, let's go on to the first one, which is search engine optimization. Now, this one probably be the lengthiest of them all, but also one of the key components of an online business. And this strategy, we were able to help a lot of businesses that don't have actually a lot of budget when it comes to digital marketing. And SEO is the way. I call it a hack, really, because this is the way you go from being search option in page 17 to being search on the first page of Google search. You've likely heard the term SEO, but you weren't sure what it means. SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's also the act of increasing the quantity and quality of your traffic to your website through organic search engine results such as Yahoo or Google and the likes. There are a few search engines out there, but the most popular one is actually Google. And an effective SEO strategy that follows specific guidelines so that you will come out in the top search, and the best practices will ensure you that your website ranking at least the first 3 pages of search engine results. Some of these guidelines include optimize your pages with number 1, of course, relevant key of search engine results. Words, the keywords that are exactly about your topic or your product or where it's categorized. Number 2, easy to navigate website structure, how your website looks to the naked eye of the viewer. High quality, relevant information that's related to the product or the service that you're selling. Number 4, use of specific headers to break up content into what we call H1, H2, and H3. And that's one thing I learned just from researching alone when I was doing my website. And it helps the search engine understand the content that you have. Because when you put out content on your website, Google has a way of seeing the algorithm see it as first part, second part, and third part. That's why we're going to break it down with search engine optimization. To rank on the first page of search engine, you need to structure your website and pages to attract organic traffic. Organic traffic is the best way to attract the traffic. Why? Because they are the ones that are actually interested in the service or product that you may have or whatever you're trying to offer. Without SEO, it's almost impossible to grow an online business organically, and you'll also need to use paid advertising, which is a little expensive, but not really that expensive compared to like social media pages. SEO is also closely related to other digital marketing elements like email marketing and content marketing. They work in harmony together to give customers what we call high quality content. An effective SEO campaign addresses 3 key elements: your website, Google, and of course, audience that you're targeting. So Google ranks your site when a search query that matches your focus keyword is entered on the search field. You might be wondering how Google actually does that. When Google bots assess your site, these are the algorithms, the AI, they take into consideration the site structure and the content, even the font that you actually use, if it's readable. They match your content with search queries and related keywords to determine how relevant your content is to these questions. That also Google checks for quality links in your website. That's why it's very important to include links within your website and also a link through another article outside of your website. Those are 2 important things I put in when I write an article. And a link to another article in your website and another link outside of your website to refer to another website. Those links tell Google and other people the value of your content and that it's a reliable source of information that you're writing out. And it's not just your opinion. It's based out of researching from another credible source outside of your website. Several good quality links directed to your site will increase your chances of a higher Google rank. Not all links are good for SEO. Some are actually pretty bad if it has bad reviews. Links from high authority sites like, for example, news organizations that are highly searched and professional associations as well are what Google considers as good signals. If you put in a link going to a website that is not highly searched or not really popular, then it's not really a good source for the Google bots to assess. Another very important factor that Google considers is the amount of time that the visitors go to your website. At an average, your visitors spend on your website should be at least 5 minutes. It's like when you go to a store, like for example, a retail store, the store wants you to stay there for at least 5 minutes, look around and see what's available in there. You don't go in there and then after less than 30 seconds, you're out. It means that there's nothing interesting in there. It's the same when you go to a website. Your website should have a person staying there for at least 5 minutes minutes or even more, depending on the number of pages that you have that's actually interesting. According to, for example, RankBrain is an artificial intelligence algorithm, and it explains that Google measures the amount of time spent on your content. And the longer visitors spend on your site, the better your SEO chances become. Posting unique and creative content with high word counts with at least 2,000 words will help improve your website's ranking. And that's why when I write blogs on my website, antonioaguirrejr.com, I make sure that I have at least 2,000 words and that my topic is repeated at least 3 to 5 times within that article. For example, I say my topic's about digital marketing. I have to repeat the words digital marketing as less as 3 times and as much as about 8 times in the entire article and spaced out accordingly. And there are also other tips such as having less than 20 words per sentence, and having 25 words or more per sentence is not good for your SEO. So a lot of tips and tricks. I suggest you research more about SEO if you want to know more about the tips and tricks on how to get your website ranking higher as organic as possible. So that's it for search engine optimization. That's number 1. Moving on to number 2, which is search engine marketing. And search engine marketing, also known as SEM or search marketing, refers to all the processes involved in generating traffic from search engines, of course, like Google and Yahoo. SEM includes SEO, which we talked about in the first topic, which to some extent is, of course, it is true, but practically it is quite different. The core of effective SEM strategy is paid advertising through platforms like Google Ads or Bing Ads, in examples. SEM goes to your websites. It talks about marketing your website, and it targets groups. It includes links to outside of your website and different sorts of content related to it, and improving your ranking and being able to measure the performance of your website. It's all about search engine marketing. Moving on to the third one, which is one of, I think, the oldest online marketing strategies of all time, which is email marketing. According to research, every dollar that you put into email marketing generates about $35 to $40. So that's about a 40 times yield for you. And email marketing is one of the most popular digital marketing techniques among digital marketers today, even from before. It is so popular that 82% of about B2B and B2C companies are still using it up to this day. Open rates, what we call, have been lesser compared to the past, wherein in the 90s, open rates were as high as 90%. Now, open rates are down to as little as 50%. That's why a good email is really important to capture the audience. Email marketing, if implemented properly, can prove very, very effective. And another report actually shows that a well-defined email marketing strategy is 40 times more likely to acquire a customer than the combination of just Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or YouTube campaigns. The rule is it takes about 18 months before a customer who is subscribed to an email subscription list to actually buy a product. And thinking about it myself, I've actually spent at least more than a year being subscribed to like a product before I actually made one single purchase. Unless, it's a really high product that I think is really nice. But in actuality, it takes about 18 months for a customer to be a first-time buyer for a product. That's why it's very important to keep continuing your email sendings as regularly and being consistent about it. Successful email marketing campaigns share relevant and timely information that is personalized to the recipient of the email. If you have segmentation, it is an essential part or component of email marketing. It ensures that you're reaching the right people at the right time. And when you understand their position in the buyer's journey, you can actually email them information to help them make a purchase decision, which is one of the hardest parts to do when you're buying online. Like making a decision what actually to buy, which product to buy, which shoe, which clothes, or which service perhaps you want to get for yourself. Educational content is really important, like telling them your why and how and why they need your product can come in many forms. But emails typically share blog articles, white papers, or free ebooks, and even webinar offers at the same time. So instead of sending links to external content, you can also write a newsletter, for example, that actually educates the customer about a certain product that you have or a problem that is out there and the solution that you have in that one email. In addition to educational content, you can also inform them about promotional offers that you may have, like 50% off or buy two, take one offers and whatever that you have. It's an attempt to persuade them to actually take action, which is, bring out their credit cards or log into their PayPal account so that they buy a product from you. So that's it. That's email marketing. So that's part 1 of digital marketing for beginners. Now, if you want more information on the rest from content marketing and so on, watch out for part 2, which is coming up next.